All right, since we're talking about quarterbacks, you got to talk about Aaron Rodgers because we get this now. Packers president and CEO Mark Murphy makes no mention of Aaron Rodgers in his latest column. Ooh, that's not great, right? I mean, we're going to get in this article and really kind of see what they're talking about here. Is this a nothing burger? Is this a big story? Hopefully they tell us in the article. We haven't previewed it. But let's see what they're saying, because if you're not mentioning your kind of face of the franchise in a column, that's not the best sign. And once again, we're really kind of thinking that Aaron Rodgers isn't going to be a Packer. He's holding out. He's got this golf matchup tomorrow. We'll hear a lot of digs. We'll hear more about it. I mean, that's going to be the hot topic, folks. Everyone's going to be pushing his buttons, trying to get some answers out of him because, he doesn't make that many public appearances. He doesn't really talk about it that often. But when he gets into the limelight, he does start kind of spilling the beans a little bit, taking the shots, taking the jabs. So tomorrow, the match, we may live stream that, watching that potentially. 5 o'clock tomorrow. Which is going to be great. We're gonna have some odds up of kind of how many times Aaron Rodgers takes a dig at the Packers organization, and you may be able to win some money tomorrow. So stick around to our Twitter page for all that good information. But let's go into this article right here, and let's see, is this a nothing burger? Is this something big? Is this something that we can kind of sink our teeth into? So let's see what we get. Here we go. A month after penning his belief that Aaron Rodgers' situation with the club had divided the fan base, we talked about that, Green Bay Packers president and CEO Mark Murphy delivered his latest monthly column on the team website and did not mention the disgruntled quarterback. Alrighty, let's see what this column is. Murphy takes 5. Interesting. Should we read this? Let's read this. Nice little column. We got a question and answer, I think. Let's see what we get here. On the first Saturday of every month, Mark will write about a topic of interest to Packers fans and the organization and then answer 5 questions. Fans are encouraged to email Mark with their name and hometown at murphytakes5@packers.com. So this isn't a highly sought after question? Hey, what's going on with Aaron Rodgers? Are we going to have our franchise guy, or do I have to change fandom before the start of the season because I'm not rocking with, unfortunately, I'm not going to be rocking with Jordan Love right out the rip. So, he's kind of actively avoiding these questions, folks, but let's see what his main thing is. So here we go. Mark Murphy. This is his initial kind of write-up, and then we'll get into the questions. So here we go. Real quick, this isn't too long, folks, so don't worry about it. But here we go. Mark Murphy says, training camp is a special time of year in Green Bay. Packers fans from across the country often schedule their family vacation around the training camp schedule, and the influx of fans is a boon of local business. The bicycle tradition is unique within the league and shows the special connection between our players and young fans. Last year, we were in the throes of the pandemic, and our training camp was unlike any previous camp. We had no preseason games, and fans weren't allowed to attend any practices. As we get ready for this year's training camp, it appears that we will be back to a mostly normal camp. Fans will be allowed to attend training camp, but fans must, based on NFL protocols, remain at least 20 feet away from players at all times. We are still working through all the protocols, but it appears that some elements of the traditional training camp experience may be different this year. We will, though, have our annual shareholders meeting on July 26th, family night on August 4th, and joint practices with the New York Jets the week of August 16th, and 2 home preseason games with all fans. It will be great to see our fans back in Green Bay this summer. Now on to your questions. Alrighty, so doesn't even talk about Aaron Rodgers, just kind of starts gearing up for the training camp and trying to getting back to the tradition of the training camp that COVID unfortunately took away from the Green Bay fans. So let's see what these questions are, because the fact that nobody's asking questions about Aaron Rodgers, come on, folks. You don't think he got any of those questions? That's the only thing that the Packers fans are worried about. That's the only thing that the Packers media is worried about. Where the hell is Aaron Rodgers? Get him off the golf course. Get him back in the football field. What are we doing? Sign the man. Get the man the help he wants. So let's see what these fans are saying. So the first question from John from Manitowoc, Wisconsin. Here we go. The question. I read with great interest the story about Carl Nassib announcing on social media recently that he is gay. What are your thoughts? What? That's the question? Come on, folks. Talk about hand-picked easy questions. Jeez Louise. I read with great interest the story about Carl Nassib announcing on social media recently that he is gay. What are your thoughts about the reaction from across the league? What are your thoughts? I mean, what a softball question. Oh, I think it's great for the league. This is great for everything. This is great for the LGBTQ plus community getting representation. Of course, folks. Can we talk about Aaron Rodgers? We've done the Carl Nassib. We all know it's great. Why do we have to make a big deal out of it anyway? Like, the fact that we are still making a big deal of people coming out gay is like, okay. I mean, everyone's just people, folks. Everyone's just people. Treat everybody like you would treat regular people. It makes no sense, but you have to make a big deal out of it. The football came out and was like, football is gay, and then they released that entire thing. Wild, folks. Cashing in on the gay. But let's see what this man is saying. Here we go. Quote from Packer CEO. I've been very pleased with the reaction across the league. Now, that is true. I mean, nobody was bashing this man, which is absolutely great. I mean, could you imagine if everyone's like, oh, get this man off the NFL? Like especially players in the NFL were like, get this man out of the league. So I am kind of glad that didn't happen. So I guess this is pretty solid. I've been very pleased with the reaction across the league, not only from players and coaches, but also fans. And that is true. Right on. That is 100% true, folks. I mean, fans, you know how fans get, folks. They are real ruthless, real wild, and fans from other teams were even coming out and supporting him. I don't think there was anybody that was really giving him any blowback, folks, honestly. So that was actually great. So I guess something good actually did come out of that. So we'll give him that. First, it took incredible courage for Nassib to make this announcement, so a lot of credit has to go to him. I think the positive reaction always shows you how far we have come as a society in recent years. It was great to see the support he received from Raiders management, as well as his teammates. Hopefully, this positive response will encourage other gay players in the future to be willing to make similar announcements. All right, solid question and answer right there, but it's been done to death. I mean, as soon as that broke, everyone's like, oh, we support you. Oh, this is so great for the league. Everyone kind of getting their kind of virtue signaling points on Twitter. All right, question number 2, this time from Matt from Harrison, Wisconsin. Quote, I am wondering if there are any short-term or long-term changes to Lambeau Field in the works. I have been especially wondering if the north end zone would ever have seating adding like the south end zone did a few years ago. Okay, so people want to know about the gay player. People want to know about the stadium more than they want to know about the big old question mark, the big old elephant in the room of Aaron Rodgers. Come on, let's get to the actual good questions. Damn it. But let's see, everyone wondering about the stadium. Here's your answer. Great question, Matt. We will continue to invest in Lambeau Field, although I do not anticipate increasing our seating capacity. They got Lambeau Field's holding 81,000 fans. Jeez Louise. We are in the middle of a major renovation to the concourse with significant upgrades to the concession stands. I mean, that's the first thing that's got to be upgraded, right? Fuck the seats. We need the stand. We need the concessions, folks. We need the food. We need the money maker. We've already got your money for the ticket for the seats, so we're not going to upgrade that. Fuck that. We're getting that secondhand money, that food money, that concession money. The fourth phase of the renovation will be completed next off-season. The other big changes we are exploring is the installation of new video boards. Our current video boards are nearing the end of their life expectancy and will require replacing soon. So, alrighty. No seats. They're getting everything else good. All right, question number 3 from Brandon G. from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Here we go. Thanks for, oh my God, I hate this. I mean, geez Louise. Thanks for taking the time to answer fans' questions. Okay, stop that. You don't need to add that. Can we all stop that? Thanks for taking the time. Okay, they do this. It's not for you. It's to get a message out. They don't care who's asking the questions. They handpick. They probably write all these questions themselves and then pick those 5 as well. So I'll relax here. All right, I understand how rich the Packers' history is in celebrating that in different ways will always happen. Our alternative jerseys have always been a throwback. The color rush brought a new look in the all-white jersey. My understanding is the NFL doesn't allow teams to change the helmets in any way during the season. Having said all that, has there ever been a conversation of doing a modern style jersey, a blaze orange jersey during hunting season, maybe a yellow and green digital camo jersey? Of course, that's coming from somebody from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Can we get, camo color jerseys? Can we get blaze orange during the hunting season? Okay. All right, here's the response. Here we go. Quote, I'm glad you like our alternative jerseys, Brandon. As I mentioned last month, we will unveil later this summer a historic third jersey that we'll wear in a game this season. Ooh, I can't wait for that. Regarding the helmet, the league actually just announced that teams would again be allowed to use alternate color helmets again starting in 2022. So once again, news stories that are coming out, having these questions, and Brandon over here saying, hey, I know that, you can only wear one helmet. And then that sets up for the answer. So once again, folks, these are all just kind of hand-picked questions. They know what they want to say. They know the information they want to get out. They just find the question or write the question themselves to get that message across. But here we go. Back to the response. This will give the clubs more flexibility when it comes to alternate jerseys. I realize that hunting is big in Wisconsin, obviously, but I am not sure about a blaze orange or a camo jersey. Yeah, that's going a little over the top a little bit. All right, question number 4. Here we go. From Walt, and we don't get anything from Walt. That's it. No area, no state, no city, just Walt. If y'all know Walt, he must be big. He doesn't need to kind of identify himself. So this question is from Walt, folks. I just received an email indicating that the Packers are not sending tickets, but require the use of a smartphone for season ticket holders. I do not have a smartphone, and being retired, of course, Walt is off the grid here. No cell phone, won't even give his area of where he's close to. So, of course, this man doesn't have a smartphone. I do not have a smartphone, and being retired, obviously, old boomer Walt out here. Do not have any need to own one. I don't need to even own one. I'm old. I'm off the grid. I don't need a smartphone. I do everything I need to do on my computer at home and use a flip phone for the few times that I need to call someone when I am not at home. My question is, how am I going to be able to see the games that I buy? No, this is an interesting question. What do they say? Here we go. Thanks for raising this issue, Walt. Our ticket office has been in contact with a number of season ticket holders with similar issues. Hopefully, you've already been in contact with the office. The move to digital tickets was not something that we took lightly. All of our tickets last year during the pandemic were digital, and it went smoothly. There are many advantages to both the season ticket holders and the Packers with the move to digital tickets, the biggest being the elimination of fraudulent tickets. Were there that many fraudulent tickets flying around? Come on. Our ticket office is working with ticket holders and will help determine a solution for each individual situation. The move to digital is obviously the wave of the future. We were the 31st NFL team to move to digital tickets. So he doesn't even offer a solution. Just, hey, get in contact and, we'll talk about this privately. We'll say, hey, you better get a fucking smartphone. You can go down to Walmart and get a prepaid Cricket phone. I don't know. So they basically said, yeah, you better find out a way because we're really not making exceptions, and it's really only season ticket holders. So, if you want to just go to a game willy-nilly one week and buy a ticket, you better hope you have a smartphone. So that's the smartphone issue from Walt, off the grid Walt. All right, last question here. What's the last most important thing that's more important than talking about Aaron Rodgers? Here we go. Joseph from San Antonio, Texas. Hey, not a Wisconsin-based fan out here. Love it. What is he asking? So, the question, as someone who was literally on the same field defending against him, just how good was Lynn Dickey? Oh my God, what are we doing out here? Just how good was Lynn Dickey on October 17th, 1983? You defended against Hall of Fame quarterbacks through your distinguished NFL playing career for at least one Monday night under the primetime lights. Was Lynn's play just as impressive or threatening as Joe Montana or Dan Fouts? From a fan's perspective, I certainly thought so. Please be sincere, detailed, and honest. Thank you. So this man's trying to kind of use this kind of platform to relive his old playing days out here. So what does he say? Excellent question. Oh, thank you for bringing up that October 17th, 1983 game. Do we care? Can we talk about the future? Talk about Aaron Rodgers. I don't care about 1983, this man playing. Damn. All right, excellent question, Joseph. On that night, Lynn was as good as any quarterback I ever played against. He was in complete control. He had great weapons, James Lofton, John Jefferson, and Paul Kaufman, but he was the one that made it all work. It seemed that no matter what we did that night, he was one step ahead of us. He had a strong arm, but was also deadly accurate. Needless to say, with a 48-47 game, it was not a good night to be a defensive player. One of the great parts of my jobs is that I've had the chance to get to know many of the alumni well. Lynn often comes back and is extremely humble and appreciative for his time with the Packers. So that's the 5 questions he took. That everything that he said was way more important than Aaron Rodgers, obviously, and we don't have any update on Aaron Rodgers. So I'm glad he answered all those questions. Let's go back to this Around the NFL article. We get anything else here? So we read his article, but back to the original article. Murphy's focus prior to answering mailbag questions was on training camp and fans returning to Green Bay for a mostly normal camp after last year's camp was altered significantly and spectators were prohibited due to the COVID-19 pandemic. With the return of one of Titletown's greatest customs, marked by the tradition of Packers players riding kids' bikes to the practice field, there will no doubt be the looming question of when or if one of the franchise greatest players of all time will return as well. Within his write-up, Murphy outlined a few dates of the upcoming schedule. All right, we already read all that. Rodgers did not attend any mandatory minicamp and only once has spoken publicly about his dismay with the Packers. Multiple reports since the first day of the 2021 NFL Draft have centered around Rodgers being upset regarding a possible contract extension. Murphy touched on Rodgers' situation in the past 2 posts. So the past 2 months he's been talking about it, but this one, once we're actually truly getting into the thick of it of training camp coming up at the end of this month, and he doesn't answer anything about Aaron Rodgers. His May 1 column focused on the Packers' commitment to Aaron in 2021 and beyond. A month later, Murphy addressed how the situation we face with Aaron Rodgers has divided our fan base. On Saturday, Murphy wrote that, quote, "It will be great to see our fans back in Green Bay this summer. How great a mood those returning fans will be in might well be determined by whether Rodgers is back in Green Bay this summer." So he totally dances around everything else. He talks about the stadium's concession stand. He talks about his glory days of 1973. He talks about not having bright orange jerseys or camo jerseys, and all that is more important than the elephant in the room of Aaron Rodgers. So we'll know more tomorrow, folks. Tomorrow during the match is going to be interesting of Aaron Rodgers. How many times does he take digs at the Packers? Do we get any information? Does he say 100% I'm not coming to training camp? So we'll have a close ear to that match, and we'll report back tomorrow. Like I said, we may be live on that, just kind of, just focusing on Aaron Rodgers. I could care less about the golf. I want to know, what are we getting from Aaron Rodgers? So we'll see tomorrow. But once again, follow us on Twitter @TakesByFans for all those updates.